Good afternoon. It is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, the first Tuesday in December, and this is a quick accountability call to help you make sure that you are getting all the things done that you need to get done in what is for most people the busiest month of the year. December is a little bit different for marketing, so I feel like it's very important to stop, slow down, think about what you're doing, think about the message you're sending and when you're sending it, and really start looking deeply at how you're going to implement your marketing strategy for 2025. So, we're going to walk through all of these different pieces of your December marketing plan on this call. The first thing that I will say is that you really have to be cognizant of timing in December. That doesn't mean that you can't send anything out the week between Christmas and New Year, but know that for a lot of companies, it is essential work only during that week. For a lot of our clients, they just completely shut down that week. But for a lot of businesses, it's essential personnel only, or it's essential work only, and you're really not going to create a lot of traction for yourself that week. So if you have really important information that you're sending out, or if you have sales messaging that you're sending out, it's probably not going to get heard unless it's very relevant the week between Christmas and New Year's. Now, depending on your industry, your message is going to be a little bit different this month than it is in other months. For some of our clients, especially in tech, the message is maximize any remaining budget dollars or work us into your budget for 2025. For our clients in more community-driven organizations or community-focused organizations like community banks and a lot of financial planning firms, it's more about supporting your community and creating a personal touch during the holiday season. And sometimes for others, it's more about just continuing to create consistency with their message and keeping their value front and center as people are making decisions about what they'll buy in the new year. So you really have to think about what you want to say, how you want to say it, and when you want that message to go out before you hit send or schedule on your content this month. So that's something that it's something that you should have front of mind all the time, but it's definitely something that you should be thinking about a little more deeply during the month of December. Taking all of that into consideration, there are 4 core things that you should be working on this month. And as I'm saying this, remember, because it's basically a short month, you basically have 3 weeks to get all of your marketing done, because the last week of the month really doesn't count. You're not going to create conversions the last week of the month. It's more of a planning week. So your social media should already be scheduled for this month. If it is not, you should be working to get all of your social media content scheduled through the first week of January. I talked about that a little bit last month, and we do have a training in our portal, which you can access with a template for your social media calendar. I'm going to link that in the replay version of this training. And if you are on live, you'll just get an email with the link right after. But you should be planning your social media out to take that pressure off of yourself, so you consistently have content going out that aligns with each week of the month. It's on brand, it's on message. You're not scrambling to push something out. And by scheduling through the first week of January, you're taking the pressure off of yourself to jump right back into the swing of things right after the first of the year. So it gives you a little bit of a buffer to prep fresh content and get new content scheduled. We are big fans of creating content a month at a time, but sometimes if your month ends on like December 30th, if you actually run in cycle with a regular month, it can be really hard to stay ahead at this time of year. So scheduling out, making sure you're scheduled out through at least the first week of January will help you and take a lot of pressure off of you. The second thing that you should be doing this week or in the coming weeks is getting some blog content out. One of the big things that I've been talking with clients about, and that we're going to be doing a lot more training on in January, is search engine optimization. And the biggest piece of search engine optimization that people miss is not having relevant, fresh, value-add content added to their site regularly. And so I encourage you, no matter what your strategy is, to have at least one blog post that goes out monthly, because it makes your site more relevant for people that are potential customers. But if you are looking to improve your searchability, you really need to be diving into creating content on a regular basis. So starting with one post a month is what I would recommend right now. But in January, if that's something that's a priority for you, we're going to be talking really deeply about how to build a strong SEO strategy and get content that's relevant and going to help you rank better organically on search. The third thing that I will recommend, which actually could tie in with both your social media and your blog content, is video content. People expect today that you have video content for them to consume, whether that's video content on your YouTube page or short snippets of content that you're pushing out on your social media. You really do need to be focused on creating video content. And the reason for that is that many organizations don't have a lot of behind the scenes content that they're sharing, which is really what creates that human element to your organization. And it creates more of that emotional connection between someone that's watching your content or viewing your content online and considering a purchase from you. It helps them create a more of an emotional tie to your brand, because now they're seeing that there are real people behind the scenes and these are the people that are doing the work, and it starts to actually create a digital relationship through a screen. Video content takes that a step further, because it really demonstrates that the expertise you're sharing is from you. It helps to, oh, of course, my phone is ringing. It always does that when I'm on calls. I have my notes in front of me and it takes over my iPad screen. So it's going to help demonstrate that that knowledge, which helps to build trust. And also, sometimes it's easier for people to absorb content from a video than it is from a blog post. So what's really interesting is that people absorb information differently. Some people do better at visual content. Some people do better with illustrations, and other people do better with video or podcast material where they can listen and hear the information and then digest it. Having all types of content available on your feed and on your website is going to help make sure that you are speaking to people in many different formats so that they can absorb the content that you share in the way that's best for them. This isn't a conscious decision. It just is the way that people are. Some people do better. I'm a visual person, but some people are better with audio. Now, as you are considering the types of topics that you might create on a video, don't overcomplicate it. At this time of year, the best thing that you can create is content that's going to answer questions that people have before they buy from you, or questions that your current clients or customers have had when they've come into your store, or how they can set themselves up for success in the new year. Stay focused on one of those three topics, create one short video, and don't put a lot of pressure on whoever's recording, especially if this is one of their first videos that they're recording. You can always cut the content up into short snippets using something like Veed or Descript or Opus, and use those short snippets as opposed to the long form content if they didn't do so hot throughout the whole video. The video content is also great because you can take a transcript of it, which if you're going to do this, I recommend using Descript. And you can take that transcript and use that to write a blog post. So taking kind of the highlights and the bullet points and putting that together in a short blog post, 500 to 700 words, that can actually be a really simple way to knock both of those things out quickly. One, because you're getting that video content done, you're already editing it in that same software, and then two, just being able to take that same content and convert it to a knowledge-based blog post. Super, super simple. Or even like an FAQs blog post is a really great way to build content in a way that speaks to the way that the Google search algorithm reads websites and recommends websites for people who are searching for certain things. Then the last thing that I would consider for your, let's see. Oh, and then of course, your newsletter. You need to get a newsletter out this month. You need to get it out no later than December 18th. So do not send it out the week of Christmas. Do not send it out the week between Christmas and New Year's unless you send multiple emails monthly. Try to get it out, but before December 18th, which I believe is a Wednesday. Let's say December 19th, just to be safe. The Friday before Christmas is always a big day for people to take out of the office. Thursday is also a big day that people are not in the office. So send at your own risk. I would personally not send later than the 18th unless I send a weekly or biweekly email and already have a set schedule for that. But if you know that that's coming up, that's something simple that you can get done now and you can schedule it and have a plan for how that's going to get out and check that off of your list early. So those are the 4 things that I would be focused on this month if I were just looking for a really quick bulleted list of digital marketing tactics that I need to get out. As I wrap those things up, and the reason why that list is so short is because it's time to really dig into 2025 planning. So this is, we're going to do a deep dive on this in 2 weeks. You can sign up in the portal or you can sign up through the email that went out earlier today. I'll also put a link in the notes section of the replay of this video, but we have a 2025 marketing planning session happening, I believe on December 16th. Don't quote me on that. I'll grab the actual details, where we're going to be going through exactly what you should be considering as you look back on the last year in terms of determining what tactics worked, and then how you can prioritize tactics for 2025. This is going to lean really heavily on our 5-tactic foundational plan, where I'm going to help you choose the 5 most valuable tactics for your marketing plan that will help support your sales team in, or, if you don't have a sales team, the sales process. We'll choose those 5 tactics on that call and we'll create a plan for implementing them in Q1. Once you've established just consistency with those 5 tactics in Q1, then you'll have a list of additional tactics that you can start layering on after April 1st. So really leaning into that, really leaning into, it's late in the day on a Tuesday. I think I've checked so many things off my list today. I might be a little slow here as I'm thinking through everything. My words are coming a little faster than my brain is thinking about them. But we want to work through what's going to be most valuable to you and where your time is most valuably spent on marketing. So that is the purpose of that training session. What I would like you to do in advance of that, if you have time, is start looking at the reports. Look at your Google Analytics. Go look at your social media reporting. There's great metrics within each of the social media platforms if you don't have an external resource for tracking your social media ROI. Look at what's creating an impact for you now and think about and maybe meet with your sales team to determine where clients have come from this year. And think through whether or not the tactics you've implemented so far have affected that. That doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily get a full tangible ROI report on what was and was not effective, but it's going to give you a better idea of where you've spent time that's been impactful and where you spent time that maybe isn't something that you would continue in the future. It doesn't mean anybody's good or bad or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's just a way for us to identify whether or not we want to continue doing these tactics in 2025 as part of our foundational marketing plan, or if we are better served by choosing different tactics in their place. So if you have time between now and that training session, I highly encourage you to look at that reporting, look at that ROI, start identifying whether you think you want to keep tactics or you don't want to keep tactics, or maybe you need to modify the tactics that you're implementing. And then we're going to talk through that on a deeper level on that date, which will be where the rest of your time is spent this month, creating a plan for 2025 and choosing an implementation plan for Q1. I hope this is helpful for you guys today. If you have questions, as always, reach out. I will see you soon for our next training. Have a great day.